technical issues. Let us get going live. There we are. We're live. My button didn't go on, so I'm just gonna throw the intro in and let's enjoy this. And Miss Liz will be right back.
Come over here, have a moment with me. My name is Miss Lizzie. I don't ever smoke the dizzy, but we can always share some good scenes. It's just a cup in time. This song doesn't have to rhyme. Life's all of us, not every moment we can be feeling fine. I wanna share a moment, just a second if you will, maybe even a cup of thrill. We could share this performance. It's tea time, come sit with me.
Well, welcome back, Miss Lizzie's Back. That's right. We had some glitches. I don't know what's going on. I think it's maybe the winter storm, or us talking about the snow and all that good cold stuff. But Leah Ellis is in the back, and we're going to talk about the Society of Child Entrepreneurs. That's what we're going to talk about the youths tonight, and we're going to get some fun facts out there about Kansas youth. That's right. So before we get started, we're going to everybody over to Miss Liz's YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, all those good platforms. Give those a like, follow, and subscribe, and let's get these tea times out there because they do make a difference for everyone across the globe. So let's get this timer going, and let's get Leah in here, and let's spill some tea. And tonight's tea is, I have it right here, it's teaching, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. That is the tea that we're going to be serving tonight with Leah. The Spirit of Miss Liz's Teatime live show. Miss Liz's Teatime is a global platform dedicated to sharing real life stories, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations that inspire awareness, healing, and connection. I'm Miss Liz is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment during the live broadcast, please grant StreamYard permission to display your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that all the content that flowed during any Teatime show is presented in good faith. However, discussions may include opinions, beliefs, and perspectives that do not necessarily represent the views of Miss Liz or the Teatime platform. Information shared by guests is based on their own experiences and is perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All guests, viewers, and participants are responsible for using their own judgment when considering any action or decision that may relate to these discussions. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to trauma, abuse, grief, mental health, and other emotionally triggering subjects. Listeners and viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Teatime and Miss Liz is an open discussion forum to design and offer insight, inspire awareness, and create connection. It is not a substitute for professional, medical, legal, or therapeutical advice. If you require professional support, please seek assistance from qualified professionals or trusted resources in your area. If you have any questions regarding this disclaimer or the content of the discussion, you are welcome to contact me, aka Miss Liz, directly at my email, bookingmissliz@gmail.com, or visit my link tree at Miss Liz's Teatime. By choosing to participate in, comment on, or view these live shows, you acknowledge and accept this disclaimer. Your participation is entirely voluntary. I, Miss Liz, welcome you to join the conversation with an open heart, and if at any time you feel this platform is not right for you, I respect your decision and welcome you back whenever you are ready. Teatime and Miss Liz is serving truth and awareness one cup at a time. Well, welcome to Teatime with Miss Liz, where every conversation pours purpose into the next generation. Tonight we welcome a woman whose work transforms childhood potential into lifelong leadership. Please join me in welcoming Leah Ellis, founder and executive director of the Society of Child Entrepreneurs, a visionary nonprofit teaching young people from ages 6 to 17 how to dream boldly, build confidentially, and lead courageously. Leah's mission is rooted in the belief that children are not just the future, they are leaders right now. Through hands-on entrepreneurial learning, mentorship, and confidence-building programs, she helps young minds discover their potential and steps into the strength with pride. From Kansas to Germany to California and back, Leah carries global perspectives, deep compassion, and a passion for guiding children into becoming creators, problem solvers, and change makers. So grab your cup and settle in tonight. We celebrate youth leadership, possibilities, and the power of believing in children before the we're going to spill some tea. Welcome, Leah.
Hi, how are you?
I am good, and yourself?
Not too bad. We have a little bit of articulation on your microphone, though.
Is there like a little scratching?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check that out. But I'll get you to answer a couple of questions while I'm working on that. So, Leah, who were you as a little girl, and who are you now?
As a little girl, who was I? I was loud and talkative and incredibly creative. And I was always making and showing off something and chatting to any human I could find, much to the dismay of my mother.
So, Leah, what got you into the youths?
I have always loved working with kids. I was a nanny right out of high school, and then I had my own children and started working with kids as mine were growing up. So I say that part of the Society of Child Entrepreneurs was about building companionship for my daughter.
And Leah, do you still hear the scratching on my mic?
Yes.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on. Is that better?
It is not.
I don't hear what you're hearing. Yeah, I'm not hearing what you're hearing. Let me see. I am checking the settings. Everything is good over here on my end.
Yeah.
It's nice and clear on my end.
Okay. Well, I can still hear you just fine.
Okay. So let's get into your tea tonight. And your tea is teaching empowerment and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you give me those three words for your tea?
So I think one, we'll start with teaching and empowerment, because it can be really easy to say that those are the same thing. Like, obviously, if you're teaching them, you're empowering them. And if you're empowering them, you're teaching them. But they aren't the same thing. They might have the same end result of kids knowing and using these skills, but you can teach and teach and teach and teach and teach. And until you make the kids feel comfortable practicing, you haven't empowered them. There's no empowerment in lectures if it doesn't also include practice and failure and reiteration. So I did teaching and empowerment, even though they feel like they could be the same thing, because to me, they're two sides of the same coin. And to properly educate, you have to both teach and empower these kids to practice what they're learning. And then the last one, I was going to go to the entrepreneurship part. I think that it's an opportunity for kids to build confidence, creativity, problem solving, reiteration, resilience, while also feeling the pride and earning their own money and creating something on their own.
So, Leah, can you tell me what inspired you to create the Society of Child Entrepreneurship?
So this is a kind of a long story, and I'll try and keep it short. But the short answer is my daughter. The medium answer is she started her first business at 4 years old when she was watching me start a business. She decided to do it too. And as she got older, she continued to grow and develop her business and build it and change what she was offering. And I realized that talking to mom about business wasn't enough for her anymore. She didn't need to be talking just to me. She needed other kids and other people around her who loved entrepreneurship the way we did. And so founding the Society of Child Entrepreneurs gave us an opportunity to find peers and encouragers and mentors for my daughter. And now a large group of children that aren't just my daughter.
So why is entrepreneurship such a powerful tool for children's development?
Just because entrepreneurship becomes a hands-on vehicle for them to practice so many things they're learning. Entrepreneurship gives them the opportunity to practice communication. It gives them the opportunity to practice math when they're counting back change. It gives them the opportunity to practice planning ahead and problem solving in ways that are real and not just theory. So
Leah, what changes do you witness most in children when they launch their first business?
So my favorite thing is the pride that they feel the first time they sell something to a stranger. Like, if you could bottle that energy, you could power just about anything. That moment when somebody they don't know tells them that they love something they've created enough to give them money for it. That is such a confidence boost for the kids. It's such an exciting core memory that they're making, but it's also an opportunity for me to solidify to their parents that this entrepreneurship isn't just about making money, but it's about shaping their children into confident and outspoken adults.
So, how does storytelling play a role in child's empowerment and confidence building?
So one of the things that we do is part of our curriculum is based on my characters, Astra and Zeke. And the reason why we use Astra and Zeke is because kids have to have an instance of how it happened before they can apply it to themselves. It's the same reason why we have Aesop's fables, only these are the fables of entrepreneurship and how do we apply skills from this book into real life. It gives them a starting point that's less scary and less risky than testing on their own business when they can see how it plays out in a story. It also creates a little bit of imagination and connects it to their brains a little bit better.
So, what businesses have you seen come to life through your organization?
Okay, we'll start with my favorite one because there's so many. But one of them that I love the most is we have a boy named Troy, and Troy is an avid reader. But statistics show that reading for pleasure drops off in America at around 4th grade. Right around 9, 10 years old, kids stop reading for pleasure and they pretty much only read what they have to read for school. But he wanted his classmates in 7th and 8th grade to talk to him about the books that he was enjoying. And so he wanted to try and find a way to get other kids to read for pleasure. And they were all complaining that there wasn't books that they could read for pleasure because all the books were boring. So he created a top 10 list, and it's called Troy's Top 10. And you tell him your genre, and he gives you 10 books in that genre that he thinks you'll love reading. And they're printed on the back of a bookmark, so you don't lose the list while you're reading. So he has these hand-drawn bookmarks that he created, and then his mom had copies of made. And on the back of every one is a list of 10 books in your genre. And so he's not just creating a way to get his friends to talk to him. He's encouraging literacy for his entire generation. And all he did was make bookmarks of something he already loved.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I know. At 13, 14, he'll be mad at me if I say he's 13. He just turned 14.
You'd be like, Leah.
Right. Leah, come on. I have a 7-year-old face painter. She just does little stencils and she puts them on your face or your hands. She's so cute because it's an opportunity for her to practice talking to people, because while she's doodling on their body, she's talking about the things that interest them and what interests her, why they picked that design. So it's a really great way for her to learn to build rapport with strangers. Like I said, I have a girl who sells pins. My daughter does graphic design and purse charms. We have a crocheter. We have several kids who do baking.
Wow. And it's so nice to hear that these kids are going above and beyond and starting business at such a young age. I've said it all the time. You don't have to wait till you're done high school to become, a business person. You can be a business person at 1, 2. You come up with something and you just create.
Right.
The word entrepreneur, what does that mean to you, Leah?
So we actually, in one of our books, we define entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur is a person who creates a good or service to solve problems and make the world a better place for other people. Like, as an entrepreneur, my job isn't just to make money. My job is to make the world a better place and solve problems for other people.
I think it's really cool what you're doing with these kids. So why that age group, 6 to 17?
I tell parents the youngest I can go is if they can add and subtract within 20. And that's usually around 1st grade. And that's so that they can count back change. When somebody gives them a $20 bill, they can give them their change. So I start as young as I can, because studies have shown that 80 to 90% of our subconscious beliefs are formed by the time we're 7. So the more I can get them to learn before they hit that 7, 8, 9-year-old age range, the more it becomes second nature and becomes ingrained in their brains that they're confident, problem-solving, resilient little people. And then I go all the way up to 17, because I never want to look at a teenager and say, oh, well, you're too old to learn entrepreneurship. Go talk to the grown-up programs. As long as they are still under the age of 18, I will pull them in and I will help them. And as soon as they turn 18, I know the resources that I can send them to help them grow those adult businesses.
I think it's really cool what you're doing, Leah. I think we need
Thank you.
more of it. So do you work with just the children in Kansas, or do you work like globally? Like how many, where do you work?
Right now, just for now, we're just in Kansas, but our first book is available worldwide, and it will continue the series to be available as new books are published everywhere. But I'm writing a curriculum, and the curriculum will be available for any English speaking person to buy the curriculum, read it, and teach it wherever they are. And that means homeschool families, moms who want to do it as an after school activities, clubs, and eventually satellite locations of the Society of Child Entrepreneurs will be able to teach this program anywhere, because these aren't skills that only kids in Kansas need. These are skills that kids worldwide need and want. And I'm just creating a vehicle to spread it out for them.
You mentioned a book. I want to try and bring that book up so we can talk about that book. So I'm just going to get you to share a little bit about the membership while I look at that book.
So I will grab the Amazon link for you while I talk about our membership program. So our membership program is $75 a year for local kids. And with that program, they have the opportunity 2 times a year to set up their merchandise and actually sell it to the public. But they also get the opportunity to come to 5 of our specialty workshops per year and 12 monthly member meetings where we really do what I call a Sochi circle, which is like a Socratic circle, only focused specifically on child entrepreneurship. And so we do a business mastermind where I provide about 15 minutes of education on whatever our topic is for the month. And then the kids get an hour and a half to discuss that problem, how they would solve it, how they see it, how it applies to their businesses, and really develop their own critical thinking around the concept that I introduced.
Well, I found the book. Thank you for the link. I got it. So we're going to bring that book up so you can share a little bit about this book and how it came together. And for the audio listeners, Leah, if you could just share what's on the cover.
So our cover is Astra and Zeke, our 2 mascots that we created, and they're clutching hands because they have just formed a new partnership. And the book is called From Sparks to Stars, the story of Astra and Zeke. And that is because Astra and Zeke are 2 kids who are very different, but they meet at a children's business fair and discover that they really complement each other very well and love business. So they start a partnership organization called From Sparks to Stars, Business Solutions for Bold Kids. And they are business coaches that teach entrepreneurship lessons to other children.
I think it's really cool what you're doing with these young kids. Like, we need more of this. We need this in Canada. Like, you need to come to Canada with this.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I'm getting as big as I can and sharing it with as many kids as I can, because I just want our entire global culture will be better sustained if we have children who are confident and resilient problem solvers.
Absolutely. We have a question that came in, and it says, what barriers do children face when expressing their ideals, and how do you help them break through?
The biggest barrier I think that kids get is parents telling them not yet, or schools telling them not yet, or society telling them not yet, because they say, oh, you're not old enough to know about X, Y, and Z yet, so you can't be an entrepreneur yet. And I combat that regularly by simply saying, what if we let them try? Like, what's the best that can happen? And let's go do it. The other big thing that we have, especially here in Kansas, is some of the legislation around being allowed to start businesses. And so I actually am advocating to change our legislation for our kids. So those are the 2 biggest things in what I'm doing about it.
Yeah, because I found this Sochi law.
The Sochi law. Yep. And that is here in Kansas, 7-year-olds and 77-year-olds have to follow the same business laws, which means if a 7-year-old wants to have 3 lemonade stands in a single year, they are actually required to have a business license and register with the Secretary of State and everything like that, just like an adult would. And so the proposal that I have created is that children under the age of 17 be allowed 6 opportunities to sell per year through 6 different channels. and earn up to $6,000 without having to register with the Secretary of State. And with it, it also includes protections so that we don't turn it into a child labor practice by preventing parents from taking more than 25% of their income for administrative costs and requiring 15% of the children's earnings to be put into a locked trust for when they come of age.
So is that the max that children can make in that age range?
So it would say that the maximum they can make in not have to register their business would be $6,000 a year. And I do that because federally, our income taxes, we're required to pay federal income taxes in the United States if we earn over $6,000 a year. So if the kids earn less than $6,000, then they are not taxed at the same rate as an adult would be taxed, and they would only have to pay their sales tax. If they earn over $6,000 a year, then they're making great money. Their business is really sustaining itself. Then at that point, they would need to register an LLC so that it's a sustainable business, and they would follow those grown-up rules.
Wow. They really make it hard for the little ones, eh?
Well, I think when they created the law, it wasn't necessarily, they weren't thinking about how it would impact kids. They were thinking about the fact that, like, we want grown-ups to have to follow these rules, and we don't want grown-ups exploiting their kids by saying the business is owned by their children so they don't have to follow the rules. So creating the Sochi law that protects the children and removes some of those regulations so they have more freedom is kind of a two sides of making sure the kids are protected and given freedom.
So if people wanted to learn more about that law, they could check out your website, correct?
Yeah, there it is, one of the links on our Facebook page and on our website.
Do you want to just share your website? We're going to share it in the middle, and we're going to share it at the end.
Yep. So our website is societyofchildentrepreneurs.org. If you don't want to have to spell entrepreneurs, you can also just use SOCEICT.org, and it will automatically forward you to the correct website.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Well, I found some other things when I did my homework on it. You have a merch shop. What do you have in the merch shop?
So it's a print-on-demand shop, and it's twofold. It has two amazing things. One, it has several designs that I've created that are like Ignite, Empower, Lead, which is one of our taglines. And you can have it put on t-shirts, sweaters. You can have it put on teddy bear t-shirts, and you can get a stuffed animal that says Ignite, Empower, Lead. They're super cute. But also, if you go to our merch shop, it has a t-shirt designer. You can use that t-shirt designer and create anything you want, whatever designs you've ever wanted on a t-shirt. They will print that on demand and send it to you, but they will also make a donation to our nonprofit, to our organization, from what you've paid them to make that shirt. So it gives you the opportunity to create something custom while still supporting our organization.
I think that's really cool. It's 2 for 1.
Exactly. It's a donation and a new shirt.
I like it. You know, a lot of more businesses should be doing that, you know,
right?
Especially businesses and nonprofits that work with children, you know, getting the donation and encouraging that support, right? Because when the kids are coming to us and saying, I have an idea, and the parents are saying, well, not yet, you know, talk to me in 10 years about that. How do you feel when you hear those stories, Leah?
I am not going to say I'm aggressive, but I am outspoken. And so I tend to challenge the parents back with, but why? What if we tried? I probably get on some parents' bad sides when their kids are like, I want to do X, Y, Z. And the parents are like, no, we don't need that on our plate. And I'm like, but if it's their business, it's not really adding anything onto your plate. And also selfishly, as a mom, if I let my daughter start a business and then she is driving me insane because she wants to chat. And then I tell her, hey, have you thought about doing X, Y, Z in your business? Why don't you go test that out? Now she's entertained and she's leaving me alone. So it's a win-win. She's learning and I've gotten 5 minutes of quiet. Because that's the parents' biggest complaint is always like, but what is my time commitment going to be for my kid to start a business? And honestly, up front for the first month, there's going to be teaching systems and teaching them how to understanding how they're making a product. But after that, the point of a child-owned business is that they run it. It shouldn't add time commitment to the parents.
So Leah, do you provide like workshops and programs and stuff like that to get the kids into X, Y, and Z?
We do. So we have 20 standalone workshops that we teach throughout the year. We teach problem solving. We teach what entrepreneurs do. We teach how to design a product, how to write a business plan, mission and vision statements, elevator pitches. I teach your kid how to do everything with their business shy of make the product they want to sell. And we're fortunate here in Kansas that we have several other places like Make ICT that will teach them how to make the things they want to sell.
So have you seen an idea that came to the table and you're like blown away? Like,
Oh my gosh, I have a story for you. One of our workshops is on problem solving. And I tell the kids, entrepreneurs solve problems and that's how they make money. I create a thing that solves your problem. And I tell you, your problem will be solved with this thing if you give me money and I give you my thing. And then you buy my thing and your problem is solved and I have money. So we're both happy. So I tell the kids, you're going to practice that today. And your fake problem that I want you to solve is porch pirates. Nobody likes getting their stuff stolen off of their porch when Amazon delivers it and the neighbor takes it before you get home. I want you to solve that problem today. And they're like, we just put a locker on your porch. And so I was like, well, we can't do that because those delivery drivers are kept on a really quick timeline. So they don't have time to figure out how your locker works to deliver your package. And so they say, okay, well, we'll give the locker extender arms, like a little robot, so the delivery driver can put it on your porch somewhere and it'll take it and put it back in its own belly. So it'll hold the package. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But if now my porch pirate neighbor is just going to take my expensive robo arm package holder and my package. And so they're like, well, we'll just put 2 bolts in it. So 2 strong bolts will keep it on your porch, but not create so much damage that you can't move it. Okay, I like this. This is a good solution. You guys are doing a great job solving this problem. When I get home from work, I'm tired and I need to get my package out of this box. Is it a key that I'm going to lose? Is it a code that I'm going to forget? Like, I have a lot of things going on in my brain. How am I going to get my stuff back out of this box? And what if I don't even know there's a package delivered? How long is it going to sit there? And so the girls look at me. Mind you, these girls are 6, 9, and 11. And they look at me and they say, oh, we're going to give it facial recognition software. So when you come home, the robot will see you and it will hand you your package so you can just carry it inside. And I'm at this point, I am now blown away. I'm like, you guys, this is brilliant. Where's the patent attorney? We need to get on this. But I look at them and I'm like, I think that this might be too complicated for you guys to create. I don't know that this is a feasible solution because I don't think you can create it. And the 12-year-old looks at me, deadpan, most honest she's probably been that week, just like, absolutely, I'm asked the dumbest thing she's ever heard. And she says, I'm in robotics club. I'll figure it out.
you just never know, right? Like kids,
Right.
they blow me away by some of the things they come up with. And they understand so much more than we give them credit for.
Right. I'm in robotics. That was last year. And I'm still like, I aspire to the level of confidence that young woman has.
Well, a question just came in for you while you were talking. Do you show about trademarks and patent and all that stuff?
So in our curriculum and with our stories, we don't teach about trademarks or patents. However, some of our students that we have really cool ideas like this, I do refer them to an attorney for those types of things because I'm not an attorney and I can't tell them what they do and don't need to do with that. But when they get to the point that they need to form a real LLC or they need a patent or they need a trademark, then we refer them and we say, you've gotten to the point in your business, you now need this new next level of amazingness. That being said, I do have 3 trademarks. I do highly recommend getting your trademarks on the stuff that you love so that it can be yours and you don't have to fight for it later.
Another question that just came in is, how does SoulC incorporate financial literacy into the learning experience?
So I used to be a financial coach. So talking about money is incredibly important to me. And it's something that's second nature in our house. We talk about how we use our money every time my kids get a birthday card, every time they earn allowance, and every time they make a sale at their businesses. And so with the Society of Child Entrepreneurs, I teach the kids, one, how to price their products based on the service and time that goes into it so that they're making a profit on their products. I teach them how to figure out a budget for their events so they understand, like, if I paid this much in booth fees, I have to sell this many products to break even. I need to make this many to get a profit, and I need to make this much to reach the goal that I made for the day. And then we teach kids, when you have earned money, once it is in your hand, you only have 3 choices. There are only 3 things you can do with a dollar bill that you're holding. You can spend it, you can save it, or you can give it away. And so as we get older, we start giving those things new names, like charitable contributions and investments and spending and budgets and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, a budget is a written plan for what you want to do with your money. And the only 3 things that you can do with your money are spend it, save it, or give it away.
Now in Kansas, do they teach any of this in school, or is this not offered in schools?
We're getting there. We do have now financial literacy requirements.
Okay.
They're still very new. So we use what used to be Jumpstart standards, and they're developing. And all we can do nationwide is just hope that we get better and stronger financial literacy education, because it does make a difference to long-term life success.
And Leah, what age do you think children should learn about financial?
So I think that you should start talking to your kids about earning money and spending and saving and giving money. I would say probably 3 or 4 years old. As soon as they're big enough not to eat the quarter when you give it to them, you should be talking to them about how, when you put away all your toys, I give you a quarter. And when you put away your brother's toys, I give you a quarter. And when you have 4 quarters, you can buy a pack of gum. Or you can use your quarters so that you can save it until you have 20 quarters and you want to buy a doll. These are all things that you can start teaching your kids, honestly, as soon as they are able to talk clearly. And then you just become more structured in how you teach the older they get. But the introduction to tasks earn money, and money is used to buy the things you want. There's no such thing as too little for that.
I think 3 and 4 is a good age, because that's when the piggy banks usually come from grandma and grandpa.
Right, exactly. Start letting them do those little things. I mean, my grandma sends a check for my kids on their birthday, starting when they're on their first birthday.
So do you talk about saving bonds and anything like that during your programs?
I don't teach specific investments. A weird legal thing for me, I used to be a licensed insurance agent, and I was financial coach. So I have to be very careful on the lines that I cross because of SEC and FINRA. I don't want to have them perceive that I am in some way breaking law or making investment advice that I can't legally make. So it's another one of those things where I teach the concepts of what is a mutual fund, what is a savings bond, what is a check, how do they work? And then for specific recommendations on how you should invest your money, I send them to the people who are licensed so that I don't get in trouble with the SEC and end up in a white collar prison somewhere. So that doesn't sound fun at all.
Well, you know, some people, they just don't look at the rules and the laws, right? They just, I'm going to do what I want to do. So I'm really glad that you're putting it out there, that, you know, you follow the laws and all that.
Yes.
And the concepts, just getting concepts out, just planting seeds makes the difference.
Right. Well, and the fact that I provide the education as education that is factually based. I'm not teaching with my own ulterior motives. I'm not teaching with my own attempt at getting commission. I'm literally teaching the dictionary definition of what is this thing and how does it work, so that you're confident having a conversation with the people who are trying to make commission and saying, like, no, I don't want to do it this way. I want to do it this way. And this is why I want to do it this way. And so you're, even as an adult, more empowered to have those conversations.
And Leah, the Society of Child Entrepreneur, is that a 7-day open organization, or is it closed on the weekends? Is there a time that you're open and closed?
It depends on the week. So when we do our children's business fairs, they're always on a Saturday. So or Sunday. So I'm always open Saturdays and Sundays those weeks because I'm teaching. And so far as when I'm in my office, I'm usually in my office 7:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock Monday through Friday. But I am a millennial with terrible boundaries. So my email is on my phone and I almost always answer it.
Let's talk about those children's business fairs, because I was really like, oh, that's interesting.
They're
Tell
so
us
much
about
fun.
tell us about it.
So Children's Business Fair is that big showcase that I was telling you about where the kids actually get to sell stuff to the community. So kids come to our website and they apply to participate in a children's business fair. When they apply, they have to tell me what they're selling, how much it costs to make, how much they're selling it for, how they're paying back any business loans that they may have taken out. And then there's a disclaimer that they have to acknowledge and their parents have to acknowledge that it is products and services made and created by the child, not the parent, and that the business is run by the child. Parents are allowed to assist with setup, but they are not allowed in the booth while the child is selling. So usually our events run from 2 to 5, and at 1:55, I make an announcement that all the adults have to leave the booths. The adults leave the booths, except for children under the age of 7. They're allowed to have an adult sit nearby to help them count back change, but they are not allowed to make sales or talk to the customers. And that is because this empowers the children to not wait for mom and dad to take the initiative, but to take the initiative on their business on their own. So then we've got 10 to 15 kids standing behind their tables, just like a farmer's market or a craft fair. And the public gets to come in, shop, ask questions. It's a live event with real people, so we never know what might happen, who might come in, how the kids are going to adapt to it. And then with that, we also bring in other entrepreneurs as judges. And the judges interview every child entrepreneur. And at the end, based in their different age categories, we award best presentation, who's done the best job explaining their business and talking to the judges and setting up their table. Most creative business, what are they selling that we never in a million years would have thought somebody would be selling, and now they're here and they're making money doing it. And then most best business potential, which one of these is a business that they're running at 7 that they could also run at 17, 27, and 57, because it is a business that can just really keep going. And so the judges rank them in each of their categories. And then we give away a cash prize, usually of about $20 for each kid who wins that award. So it's a nice little bonus on top of their day of sales.
So how many times do you do that a year?
We do 4 official children's business fairs per year. And then we also participate in some other events, like where you do a Renaissance Festival. We do our City's Fall Festival, where we squeeze in a couple of opportunities that are just for our members.
That is incredible, bringing all these kids. So when you do these events, do you get good feedback from the parents and people who attend? And
yeah, the parents actually, after the event, they're sent a review form and I get rated, which, is always the most fun when you get an email. It's like, you have a new rating, and you're like, oh, yay, I've been judged today. And the parents do really like being able to see their kids grow outside of their box and see their kids selling and talking to strangers. It's always, the feedback from the parents is always so fun to read, because they're like, I never knew my kid could do this. And I just watched my kid do it, and I'm so proud of them. Our community at large, when they come out, I always have people stopping me and they're like, this is so cool. Like, we never would have expected this, and we love it. And then from the kids, the feedback is always how fun it was and how excited they are that they made money. Even on the slow days, the kids have a good time getting to connect with other child business owners.
And do you see friendships being made through the different businesses?
Yes. And in fact, one of my daughters, she changed schools, and the first friend she made at her new school was because she's also a member of the Society of Child Entrepreneurs. And so they were able to click right away. Now they get to see each other at school, and they see each other at Sochi meetings. And we've also seen it the other way, where kids are members and they love it so much, they bring their friends to join them too, because they're like, you have to be a part of this also.
Oh, that's really cool. What age group surprises you the most with creativity or leadership abilities?
I think probably the 8 to 10-year-olds, because they're big kids. They're not quite preteens. They're not teenagers. They're not little kids anymore, Like we always sell them short because we're still thinking of them as our babies. And then they get up and they stand in front of a room and they blow you away. And you're like, oh my goodness, that's not a little baby anymore. And by the time they're 10, 11, 12, you kind of expect a little bit more of them because they're getting older. But those like 8 or 9-year-olds, they can really kind of pull the carpet out from underneath you when they come up and you don't expect what comes out of their mouths.
So it's almost like kids say the dumbest things, right?
Right, but it's like kids say the most brilliant things. And then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, but you sent me some statements here, and it says children are leaders. I want my listeners out there to understand that children are our future leaders, right? We really got to start putting them in the leader's seat.
Yeah, it's actually, so I'm writing a TEDx talk. And in my TEDx talk, the title is Dear Parents and Teachers, Children Are Not the Future. And it is because I am really sick and tired of us saying children are the future. Oh, the generation, the leaders of tomorrow, because all we are doing is we're using it as a scapegoat not to listen to them now and not to give them any power over their present. And then we tell kids, you know, if you want better, do better, but only in your own little circle because you have no power. When actually they have power and ideas, we just need adults to create space for them to share those ideas.
I like that you said that, you know, and you caught me too, because I say it all the time, children are the future, you know, but they are, right now in the present moment, they are leaders.
Yeah. Well, and it started out with such positive meaning. Children are our future, therefore we should pour into them. But then it has become children are our future, therefore they should wait their turn. And I don't want them to wait their turn. I want them to start now and only get bigger and better as they get older.
Yeah, me too. I don't want them to wait.
Right.
I want my granddaughter to say, you know what, Nanny, I want to start a business right now. And I'm going to be, what do we need to do? What do you want to try? You know,
how do I do it?
Encourage them, you know, instead of defeat them before they even start.
Right. Well, and the other thing is then once a granddaughter comes to you and she says, I have this idea. And you say, not yet, you're too little. And then 3 years later, she comes to you and she says, I have this idea. And you say, not yet, you're too little. And then she comes to you 3 years later and she has, I have this idea. And you're not yet, you're too little. And then she turns 25 and you say, why don't you ever have any good ideas? And she's like, well, you beat them all out of me my whole childhood. You dismissed me for years. Now I don't care to share my ideas.
And that's what we're doing. It is we're numbing them off. So then when they get to 25, they're like,
yeah.
For many years, you guys kept telling me, not now, not now. So wait till I'm 50, wait till I'm 60 then.
Right. No, we're apathetic and we have no confidence because we haven't been given any opportunity to try anything.
Absolutely. I'm really glad that you came to Teatime because all of my listeners out there, I have a lot of baby boomers out there who are set in their old ways. Children will be children, adults will be adults, you know, where the generation has changed. Times have changed. The leaders are younger and coming forward and saying, you know what, let me talk, let me share, let me bring something to the table. What did your international living experiences shape your approach to the youth empowerment? Like, how did staying in different countries and stuff like that teach you about different youths in different communities?
So I lived in Germany for 3 years when I was in high school. And I think the biggest thing that I learned was, as a human, is that not everything has to be seen through my lens. There are other perspectives, there are other ideas, there are other cultural things. I am a very much like hustle, workaholic, probably need to take a few more days off per year kind of person. And living in Germany where they shut down shops for their lunch hour and their afternoon nap, and they were closed on Sundays, is a really good reminder that human beings need to slow down. And so I think that's something that we need to remember to apply more often, especially, like I said, in that small town that I lived in Germany, where, I mean, I couldn't even go get a donut at noon because the donut shop was shut down for lunch.
I like that they do that. I think we should do that in Canada too. You know,
I think we should do it everywhere.
Right? Everywhere around the world. Which take time to recharge ourselves and rest. I know when I was younger, there was no businesses open on Sundays. Sunday was family day. It was rest day. And now the family, I find that family and children are not connecting as much because they have no time to connect. They're just go, 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 go. Everybody's all over the place. So how do you work with parents and children in the Society of Child Entrepreneurs to bring those children and parents together?
So I think one of the best ways that I get to bring the parents and children together is because I get to help the children inspire their parents. It's so easy for us to say as parents, we want to inspire and push our children. But when we get to flip the script a little bit and I get to help the children inspire their parents to try something new or go do something new or trust them a little bit more, building that intergenerational trust then creates a stronger relationship for them because mom knows kiddo can run a booth for 3 hours by themselves. They have a little bit of ownership in their belongings and in their behavior. And therefore, there's a little bit less conflict because there's more trust.
Well, Leah, I'm going to pop your book back up because somebody just asked a question about the book, so I'm going to get that back. And the question is, what message does your book, Sparks to Stars, offer to children and families?
I think the best message in this book is that you can be a partner with somebody who's not like you. Astra and Zeke are absolute polar opposites. And they're brilliant and they love each other. They're best friends. They start a whole business together. But I think in the book, what we teach them is one, children can be inspired to start businesses, and two, you can work with people who aren't your identical twin.
I really want to check that book out for my granddaughter. Christmas time, I'm big on books. My grandkids know that we get books for Christmas.
We always did something you need, something to read, something you want, and something to wear.
Oh. I like that. I want to get to how people can get involved in the Society of Child Entrepreneurs.
Oh, the best way to get involved is follow our Facebook page. That's where I do the most posting and publishing and outreach. And that will tell you when new programs are available, when books are published, when we start. I'm hoping within the next few years to have satellite locations. So when we start looking for people to run satellite locations, those will be on our Facebook pages. And then anytime you have a question for me specifically, just an email to Leah at societyofchildentrepreneurs.org. Like I said, I'm a millennial with terrible boundaries, so I'll probably answer it quicker than I should.
And Leah, what kind of donations are you looking for?
Anytime that we can have unrestricted cash donations, those are obviously every nonprofit's dream because it means we get to decide what our business needs right now. But so far as in-kind donations, anything that are supplies that we can share with the kids for them to create products that they want to sell, or copy paper and ink, because we go through a lot of paper and worksheets and flyers here. Those are things that we use the most of.
And where do you see your organization going in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I would like to at least be nationwide, if not starting to creep into international territories, and have a full curriculum, our own podcast, and a robust membership program that people are doing in other locations.
Tell me more about this robust.
About our curriculum. So our curriculum is called Ignite, Empower, Lead. And it is a 36-week school curriculum that teachers within the next 2 years will be able to just buy our curriculum, and I'll ship it to them in a 3-inch binder, and they just open it up and start teaching, and then they get to teach entrepreneurship, leadership, and financial literacy right there in their classrooms.
Oh, I really like that. That's interesting.
I get to start our first pilot group in January. I'm very excited.
Tell us a little bit about that. What's coming in January?
So in January, I've partnered with a local school called the Learning Lab, and they're allowing me classroom space for an hour a week. So I actually get to go in with my binder full of curriculum and test the program and see how it works on kids who aren't already entrepreneurial. Because a lot of our members are kids who have already had some spark of entrepreneurship, and then their parents find me and they join us. But this is going to be taking kids who maybe aren't entrepreneurial or haven't ever heard of entrepreneurship and taking them on a journey from an introduction to entrepreneurship to the end of the semester is launching their business and opening it to the public.
We just had a question about your TED Talk. When are you doing a TED Talk, and where can they find you for that?
Whenever somebody gives me a stage. So I have written the talk and I am in the process of applying for stages. Statistics show it takes on average 87 applications before you're approved to do a TEDx.
Oh.
So far, I have done 25. So we're making progress. I've gotten 5 rejection emails so far. So, baby steps in the right direction. So I'm hoping at some point in 2026 is when I'll be able to get that TEDx stage to finally be mine. And then once it's up on the TEDx website, it'll be all over my social media and our LinkedIn and our website. And I'll probably stand on the top of my office building and scream that it's finally done, because it's been a goal of mine for a really long time. But it's coming. Just keep following me. And if you happen to know a TEDx organizer, feel free to send them my LinkedIn page.
Well, I have a couple of people who have been on TED Talk, so I'm gonna get some other information for you. Would you be open to sharing about the society on just regular stages in schools, colleges, stuff like that?
Anywhere that wants to hear about child entrepreneurship, child leadership, financial literacy for kids, the impact of throwing society on its head a little bit and letting kids be leaders, I am happy to come and talk to them. And depending on when it is, sometimes I even bring my junior executive director, which is my 10-year-old daughter, who also is an amazing speaker and podcast guest.
I'm going to connect you with somebody who's looking for speakers, and I think it would be really cool. Are you willing to travel to speak?
Yes.
I'm going to connect.
I really enjoy traveling. And fun random tidbit about me that I don't advertise frequently. I still technically own a travel agency. So when I travel, I make commission on my own travel.
There you go. I'm going to connect you with a few people that are looking for speakers to have on their stages that they're opening up. And I think that this would be incredible to be on their stage.
I would love the opportunity.
Let me connect.
Like a lot.
As you're talking, I'm just like ding, 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 ding. Oh, dot. I love connecting my guests with other people that I know or other guests that have been on Teatime, and it keeps the ripple effect going, right? It shows the support and understanding that we all are doing this together. And that's what Teatime is about.
I used to, I don't know if you've ever heard of Mike Michalowicz or his book, Profit First, but I used to be fortunate enough to work at Profit First Home Base, at Profit First Professionals. And I would tell people one of the best things about it was that I'm like the drop that starts the ripple, because my job was to teach accountants and bookkeepers this Profit First method. And then the accountants and bookkeepers got to teach it to their clients, and then their clients got to apply it to their businesses and then teach it to their children. And I just got to be that little top ripple that just started all of this financial wellness. It was amazing.
I like it. The little ripple effect. And all these little children that are following right behind her. Like, I love it.
My little ducks following behind me, ready to start businesses, run the world one day.
Leah, how can parents, teachers, and communities better support young entrepreneurs?
Ask more questions about their business, about their desires, about the way they want to see the world. And then when they give answers that you have that little glimmer of, I can see that happening, help them make it a reality.
And one word that defines your mission.
One word to define my mission. I already narrowed it down to 3, and that was hard enough.
I'm a tough cookie. What can I say?
Yes, that is. I don't want to say empowerment because that seems so cliche, but I am going to say encouragement.
Oh, why encouragement?
Because empowerment, that's like, I'm empowering you. I'm giving you permission to go and do this thing. You have been given the power to fulfill this action. But encouragement is being able to sit down, hold their hand, and say, I believe in your ability to do this, and I will help you do it.
And I asked you to give me one word to describe yourself, Leah, and you gave me visionary.
Yeah.
What age did you become a visionary person?
I don't know. I feel like I starting to call myself visionary-esque or thought leader only this year.
Oh.
Like only at this year. It still feels very new and very like risque to call myself a visionary. Like that's an awful egotistical name to apply to yourself because it's a big and weighty, but also like I'm challenging an entire culture and that feels mildly visionary. So I feel like I've earned it at 32 years old to call myself visionary.
I think it opens a door. We should be using that word more often with our children and the youths out there that have a big vision, a big ideal. When you gave me that word visionary, I was like, absolutely, I can see that with Leah.
Yeah. It like I said, it's a little risque to be like, I told my mom, like, do you think I'm a visionary? And she was like, Milton Hershey or Bill Gates are visionaries. Like, you're just a person with big ideas. And at first I was like, so maybe I'm not a visionary. And then I was like, wait a second. Yes, I am. I'm as visionary as Milton Hershey. I didn't invent Hershey bars, but I invented Soshi.
And what color feels like leadership to you today?
I'm going to say burgundy.
Oh, why? That's a nice color.
Burgundy is a nice color. But specifically, so everybody says red is a power couple, right? Like power color. Red pushes forward your authority and your leadership. And when you wear red, you're confident. But then you also add in some of that purple of like the royalty and the establishment of like wealth, because you have the money to have that purple dye. And so being able to say like just a little purple to my red.
Burgundy is a beautiful color. I'm a mulberry girl. That's where my colors come in. It's that deep red and purple mixed together. It brings strength and resilience in.
It's such a good. Our logo is navy and burgundy and then forest green and gold. So.
Oh, I like it. All nice, beautiful colors.
If you ever want some light reading on our Facebook page, I actually have I broke down every component of our logo and why I chose it and the symbolism behind the colors, the fonts, the symbols, everything is on our Facebook page.
Do you got time to share it?
I can pull it up. Some of it I don't remember anymore because I have a terrible memory, but I can share some of that with you. Yeah. The biggest parts of it are obviously right in the center. We have Artemis and Hermes. And that is because I love Greek mythology, like a lot. And Artemis, everybody knows her as the maiden goddess of the moon, but she's also the protector of children. So we have to put her in there for the children part of our child entrepreneurs. And then Hermes, as the messenger god, in ancient times, merchants and sellers were also travelers and messengers because that's how they got their wares from one location to the other. So with Hermes, we're adding the protection of the merchants or the entrepreneurs. So with Hermes and Artemis together, we have protection for child entrepreneurs in one spot right there. So that's kind of my favorite. And then we have those golden halo around our logo. Is it one more over? And this golden halo we put is all about this like future forward thinking, but also this powerful symbol. It also mirrors growth and development and learning. The sun doesn't like just sit. We have to grow and develop with it, right? And clarity and splendor and warmth. And then we have this really like kid-like font that says the society of, and that's because we want people to remember that this is for children. We don't want to let go of our youthful aspect because we're still children. And then we have a really strong font underneath that. And that is just to remind them that they're child entrepreneurs. They're not students. They're not the kiddos. They're not mentees. They are child entrepreneurs. They are business owners. That is their professional title, child entrepreneur. So they have stake and therefore they get that grown-up kind of font. And then we have our burgundy, our blue, and our yellow gold. And that is those primary colors, but muted for a more mature, serious tone. We don't want you to feel like little kitties. We want you to feel like we've got those primary colors, but they're a little bit more grown up. They're getting fancy a bit. And then because we also teach financial literacy, we added in that green for money.
I love it. And thanks for sharing that about the logo, because sometimes people don't understand logos, right? And they're like, well, what's the meaning behind this logo?
Well, there was a lot that went into designing the first logo for the Society of Child Entrepreneurs. I wanted to make sure that it sent the message that we wanted it to send. And I feel like it's still inviting and it's still cozy, but it still also tells people like, take these kids seriously because they are amazing.
And Leah, what's your final message for everybody out there? And if you could spell out your website for the audio listeners.
Okay, so my website, the easiest way to get to it is SOCEICT.org, because that will automatically forward you to the long listed one that you don't want to have to type. And then my final message for everybody, again, that scandalous message: children are not the future, they're leaders now. So ask more questions and give them more of your silence while you listen to their answers instead of telling them what you want them to say.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to do a wrap up of what we did tonight, and I will see everybody tomorrow night for the next tea time. But what a bright and inspiring tea time. Leah, thank you for reminding us that children need more than guidance. They need space, trust, and opportunities to build something that belongs to them. You've shown us that leadership begins early when we nurture curiosity, encourage creativity, and pour confidence into every young voice. Tonight, we learned that entrepreneurship isn't just business. It's identity, resilience, vision, and courage. And through the Society of Child Entrepreneurs, you are shaping a generation that's known in worth and owns its power. To everyone watching, may you leave this tea time seeing the young people in your lives with fresh eyes. They are thinkers, builders, leaders. They are ready. All they need is someone to believe in them. Until we gather again, keep planting seeds of empowerment and serving change one cup at a time. And I'll see everybody tomorrow night, same time, same place, and we'll do this all over again.